What up? What up?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Afternoon, whenever you're listening.
Well, yes. Good day
Good
to
day.
you. Good day
It's
to you.
podcast day.
It's podcast day. The Scoop Wedding's Unveiled. Brandy, what's up, girl?
Hey.
It has been a long time since our last actual podcast because, again, we did one last week.
Yeah.
Hour and a half.
good.
We went hard for an hour and
For
20
ourselves.
for ourselves and no audio recorded.
Yep.
This
That's
time
us.
it's recording.
I mean, we're not perfect. This is how this works.
I
These are all
guess.
the things that people that do podcasts don't tell you happen. It happens to
It
the
happens.
best.
Well, let's just get right into it. How you doing? How are things?
Things are great. I have something exciting to share.
We're gonna go straight into it. Let's hear it.
Yeah. So I have been cast to be a part of a play that's happening in Bradenton. They're going to do the official announcement March 1st, but me and my son, and I've never acted in anything in my entire life, but it's totally off the cuff and comedic and spontaneous. And
Okay.
we know that I can do that. So I'm super excited. It's called the Hat Theater Company, and it's called Old Manatee.
Okay.
So I'm super excited.
Yay.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with weddings, but love to hear it.
No, I mean, and they asked me like why, and I was like, why not? That's my motto. Why not?
Why
not
not?
do something fun and exciting and different? So
Okay.
I'm excited. Your girl's gonna be on stage
Right on.
In
Right
the
where you
back.
need to be.
in the back, but I wanted to be in the back. Like that's where I auditioned for. I didn't want like a lead role.
There you go.
Yeah.
All
I can
right.
handle that.
Well, in our last podcast that never recorded,
Yeah.
we went hard on what?
Venue, like contracts and people not doing what, just a lot. There was a lot of things in that.
Well, I
Let's
think the
just
big
recap.
thing, I think the big thing that we talked about, at least that I went hard on, was hire a wedding planner.
Yes. That's
not-
really the gist of it.
Do not do the DIY. Do it yourself.
Don't- yeah.
Because I did a wedding a couple weeks ago at Fruitville Grove,
Yes.
which first time there. It's a
It's
big,
not a horrible place.
a big
It's nice.
pavilion. It's a very open canvas.
Yeah.
But I arrived early because I've never been there before.
Of course.
And the bride was there setting everything up
Yeah.
with her bridesmaids, and she was talking to me. You know, she wasn't. She was like just talking at me because she was frustrated because she was setting everything up,
Yeah.
and she hadn't even gotten ready yet.
Yeah. And that's not how your wedding day is supposed to go.
Yeah.
Like the job of you as a bride, if you have a job per se, if you want to call it a job, is to have fun and relax and enjoy every moment because you can't get that back. And I tell that to so many couples. Do things the right way. And if you can't do them the right way or the best way possible because of budget constraints and things like that, change your date and push it out because you'll be better off for it.
Yep. And just everything was do it yourself. They had, I wouldn't even call it a caterer. They had somebody come in, deliver food
they had picked
during the ceremony. They delivered the food. They like drove up,
Dropped it off.
dropped it off, didn't leave any
Serving utensils.
serving utensils. So I had to make an announcement like, just use your fork
Use your
to
fork. Don't use
dish
your hands.
your food. Okay. It was, and then the
she had to
guests,
go ahead. Talk about that.
the guests were, I mean, they were a little rowdy, which is fine.
Yeah.
But, we also had our photo booth there. And guests, just be nice to your vendors.
Yeah.
Like, be nice
and
because
respectful.
and they were not respectful
No.
at all. Kelsey was running the photo booth, and she had a rough night. I felt
Yeah.
bad for her.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, okay, you know your limit if you've had a few too many drinks. Friends, watch your friends. Just keep them out of trouble too, because you don't even know. Like, okay, maybe Kelsey knows some like karate hachu lady stuff that she's gonna pull out on you or something.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing: just be respectful because you would want the same in return.
Right. Well, be respectful to other people and be respectful of the equipment and all of the
Yes.
gear and everything that we have there because it's not cheap.
Yeah.
And you don't want to pay for it. Trust me.
Exactly. That's like if I came to your house and started just messing with your stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
and,
let me just use this for whatever.
and they were also doing like body shots.
Oh yeah, I remember you.
Oh, and and there was no bar.
No bar.
No
That's right.
bar.
was-
Literally right after the
It
ceremony.
was bring your own cooler.
Bring your
with
own cooler.
Your own beer.
After the ceremony, literally everybody walked out of the pavilion, and Kelsey was arriving so we could set up the photo booth because they didn't want it set up during the ceremony. So we had to set it up afterwards.
That's respectful not to do things during the ceremony.
Yeah. And she's like, why is everybody leaving? I'm like, oh, it's BYOB, apparently. So they literally all went out to their cars, grabbed all of their coolers, probably actually hung out there for a little bit and drank.
They had a parking lot cocktail hour.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing. We talked about attire.
Oh, yeah.
The photographer. And I talked about what I noticed most is that photographers are the ones that are kind of usually dressed
more casual.
Much more casual, which I get it. You're walking around, you're running around, but you know, as a DJ as well and wedding planner and so forth, we're all walking and running around.
You can still look good and look casual.
Right. But this guy, this team,
this gentle person
came in jeans, a t-shirt, and a backwards hat.
Yeah, not the vibe.
Honestly, I wore, you know, my slacks, my TLS polo. Kelsey and I were the best dressed except for the bride. She had it on her white dress, but.
So, question: were the groomsmen in?
They
like,
were in a
jeans
suit.
And stuff and suit. Oh, okay. So yeah, that was definitely not the vibe. Now I could understand if like all the groomsmen were in jeans and like you know the plaid shirts or dress shirts or whatever else, and they had their boots and cowboy hats. Okay, fine. That's the look that you gave out to everybody.
Yeah,
but if you're showing up and that's your, I'm
everybody
guessing that's his normal.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a very country wedding,
which is fine.
Yeah,
but
and
if the vibe does not call for that, maybe they like the outdoors, but the vibe is still classy.
Honestly, the vibe called for it. I just didn't pick up that vibe beforehand.
But neither did all the groomsmen. Like usually,
well, no, they were dressed, you know, in suits and so forth, and it was it was one, and then
the bride at the end.
The bride. I mean, at the end of the night, I was the last one to leave. There was no
security,
no security or anything, and there was like close to 200 people there. It was insane, and then last week, I was at a brand.
Wait, and didn't the bride have to come back the next day?
She came back the next day.
Leave all the food and everything.
She came back the next day to clean everything up.
Just leave the food out.
Just leave everything out, and they were fine with it. All right, whatever. But at least it was covered, like the venue was covered. And the reason why I say that is because last week I was at a newer venue for me, and I've never been here before. I've never even heard of it, called The Hollow. Have you heard of it? Called The Hollow in Venice?
Sounds scary.
It was
where I'm from Kentucky. It's called The Holler.
Yeah,
and you don't go in the.
Well,
all
right. So this
holler.
is like it's I don't even know how to explain it, but you go. It's out east, down in Venice.
Okay.
And it's like on this ranch, but you go back, and then all of a sudden, it's kind of I don't even know how to explain it.
It sounds scary.
It's like this
like
oasis. It turns into an oasis.
Halloween
It turns into an oasis with all these palm trees and this bamboo. It's actually really beautiful, but
okay.
Getting there is a little weird. But everything is outdoor. And I don't know if you remember last Saturday, but it rained off and on.
Yes.
And they had zero plan B. And I told them, I said, listen, in our contract, and that's why it's so important to have a contract.
Yes.
And you know, because
read it.
Yeah, read the contracts, and in the contract it says if there's no plan B and there's rain, we shut down. And I was glued to my phone the entire night, looking at the radar. And I was saying like, all right, at 8 o'clock, because they were supposed to go until about 10:30. I said 8 o'clock, it's showing that we're going to get a lot of rain. And it's, you know, your radar saying one thing, mine saying another thing.
Right.
But there's rain in the area.
Florida.
Who knows? Don't know. Right. There's rain in the area. So if I feel one droplet of rain, I'm shutting it down. Or and so sure enough, I did. And I shut everything down. I kept one speaker out and I just played music from my phone for the next 2 hours. And I felt bad, but
that's
like I didn't know if it was about to
dollars of
I didn't know if it was about to pour.
Exactly. And when it's dark That's the worst part.
Yeah.
It's almost like black ice when you're from the north. Like you can't tell that it's slippery. Yeah. When it's dark and it's going to rain, there's no forewarning. You don't know if it's going to rain. You can't tell by the clouds rolling in. You really have nothing to go off of.
So I talked to the couple and they're like, yeah, we'll have a tent for you. How big of a tent do you need? I'm like, as big as you can get.
Yeah.
And so the day of, I was like, hey, do you guys have that tent? They're like, oh, well, we decided not to get it because we don't think it's going to rain. I was like, and I told him, I said, all right, listen.
That was a choice.
So, I mean, it was what it was. She was, it was fine. But
here's the thing. At the end of the day, you feel bad because you want to give your 110% best, right? Mm-hmm. You don't go in looking to ruin any days, to mess up anything, to not give the caliber of services that you're used to giving. And if you don't have those things in place as the couple, then that's what you're going to get. So nobody can fault you for it.
Oh, yeah.
But just know that you paid for a service and you didn't get the best of what was available to you because you didn't pre-plan. And that leads me a little bit to my rant.
Let's hear it. Go for it.
So as a venue director, we have rules in place to protect the venue. Why? Because multiple people want to use that venue. Mm-hmm. Like it's for the institution, and specifically being at the Bishop Museum, it's to protect our manatee. It's to protect our collections. It's to protect the institutional integrity, our mission, and everything that we do at the Bishop. And so for us, we have certain rules in place because other departments rely on things to be intact and be presentable. We're open to the public until 5 o'clock. And then we open up the next day at 10 a.m. or noon, depending on the day. So if you have an event the night before and people start coming in at 10 o'clock or 12 to see the museum, they're not there to see what was left from the event. And you guys don't do what you're supposed to do. That comes back on us as the venue director, right? So we have rules in place. One of those rules is that we have a specific catering list. This is a huge liability. We take on so much liability as the venue, and we have to protect you, the client, the guests, and anybody else, the vendors, food-wise. So we have all the insurance on hand. We have all of their legal information. We know that they're ServSafe certified, that they're registered with the state of Florida, that they carry insurance. All of those things protect not only you and the client, but also your guests. Because God forbid, Grandma Judy shows up and she eats something or she experiences something and they don't have the proper insurance and she gets sick and something horrible happens. We don't want that. So we have a specific list. And so couples, this is where reading a contract comes in handy. Mm-hmm. Read your contract. We don't let anybody outside that list on property. Unless we've given you written notice because it's kosher or Indian, like something very religious or specific. All of our vendors can do all those things. But there's been minor cases, like maybe 3 in the last year and a half that I've let this happen to. We have a wedding coming up on the 24th, and I am still trying to get proper documentation for the catering company. And would you believe she called me yesterday mad at me? Like, don't be mad at me. Like, I'm letting you come. I could say no.
Yeah.
But don't. I just need your paperwork. I got paperwork for like 3 companies and your name's not on any of it. So you're not covered. So, but I use the kitchen of that place. Doesn't matter. So clients, I don't want to ruin your wedding day. That is not our goal. Even as, like you said, you want to play the best you can. As vendors, we don't want to mess up your wedding day. It is our goal for you to have the best day ever. Mm-hmm. Just read your contract and don't come to us 30 days, 2 weeks before and say, oh, by the way. Because we can legit just say no because it's too much of a liability for us. So that's my read your contracts,
highly recommend that you work with vendors and wedding professionals that are insured.
Yes, always.
Are insured and
registered with the state. It should be very easy to produce a DBA, registration. Mm-hmm. You should have that ready at hand, vendors, to give at any point.
Yep. And then
it should not be me waiting for a few weeks or days. It should be like, oh, I got that. Here you go.
Yeah. And then couples also make sure that, if a wedding vendor is asking you to sign a contract, there's a reason. Yes. It's to protect the vendor as well as you.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
and with it, just for example, for the the wedding last week, if you didn't have, like, it states in the contract, if there is rain or if there's inclement weather.
Yep.
Unless you have, if you need to have a plan B. If you don't, you need to have a contingency plan. If you don't, then
exactly.
Like, we will break down.
Yeah.
Because we have.
You have other clients that you have to service, right?
Right.
Like,
well,
your
that,
equipment
but yeah,
needs to work.
You don't want to pay for the equipment because you would have to.
No, yeah, absolutely. And we have that in ours too. Like, there's liabilities and things that everybody has to pull and be insured for. And so if you look at what's in there, it's really like, we don't allow open flame. Why? Because if you catch that museum on fire, literally you're going to be paying for it and everybody in your whole entire family for the next 20 years. Like, there's some expensive stuff. So it's just really, it goes without saying, read your contract, but read from the first letter to the last period, please. And then have somebody else read it too and ask questions about the contract. Totally open to answering all those questions, because we built the contract for a reason. Yep. It's mutually beneficial. So I think that's a big one these days, is contracts are just not. And if your vendor is not using a contract, don't hire them. Or if their contract is, like, I don't know, been copied probably 50 million times and it's hardly legible and they only take check. I would question a few of those things as well.
Do your research.
Just do the research and make sure you're on the right point and who you hire.
Amen. Touche.
Yes.
Well said.
Yes.
We're gonna do a complete left turn now.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's
ready?
lighten it up.
All right. We've got a special guest today, and we're gonna just turn the camera. Brandy, I'm gonna have you
come on
scooch over. You're gonna scooch over. Oh. But first, let me do a quick little intro. So we've got DJ Lira, DJ Lira, Karolina Lira, and a local DJ here in Sarasota, Florida, doing weddings, bars, clubs, and even sporting events, right? With the Tampa Bay Lightning through another like a entertainment agency. But Karolina, what's up, girl? How you doing?
How you doing?
Great. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to our podcast world. It's a little crazy.
And I have so many questions for you.
Oh, boy.
He's probably going to ask all the questions I have, so go first.
Probably, but no, I just, DJ, I call you Karolina. You go by DJ Lira, though.
That's right.
DJ Lira. Okay, cool. But you started with TLS, how long have you been with TLS? Like 2 years now?
Almost 3 years. Coming
almost
up on
3
years.
Holy cow. Well, I appreciate you.
Yeah, because you shot her promo video at the last bridal show that I had, which is coming up on 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was
2020, right during COVID.
Oh, yeah.
We
did the whole
we had our bridal,
video shoot there.
Yeah, and I remember.
Holy cow. Well, yay. Glad you're still with us, and glad you reached out to me because you've been a huge asset to TLS, and I appreciate everything that you've brought to the table.
Yay.
And you've helped me learn a lot of things too. So, but let's start with, where are you from?
Yeah.
So originally I was born in Ukraine, and after I was like 3-4 years old, my parents packed everything up and we moved over to Hungary. So then I spent majority of my life growing up in Hungary, but we did travel back and forth because I still had bigger part of my family back in Ukraine. So kind of grew up in two places.
Yeah. And
then about 13, 14 years ago, we moved here to the United States.
Okay.
Florida. Yeah.
Nice. And you went to college, right? Here at
UCF.
UCF.
Yep.
Oh, go Knights.
Yeah. UCF
So
Knights.
how many languages do you speak?
3, Hungarian, Russian, and English.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Get it.
Heck yeah.
And you're a Russian DJ?
We got you.
Gotcha.
We've actually had a few weddings that have reached out that have either been Russian or Hungarian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Right.
And so, and I've actually, like, we've tag teamed a couple of those weddings, and I would speak in English, and then you would repeat it in, I think it was Russian or Hungarian.
Yeah, Russian.
That was actually at Lakewood Ranch.
That's great that you have that niche, because I'm sure it's a small amount of people that can fill that gap.
Yeah. And it was really cool because I remember somebody coming up, I think it was like maybe a gentleman I don't know if he was family of this particular wedding party, but he came up to you and he started talking to you it was in Russian, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he was like ecstatic that, we were able to provide that,
extra service.
Yeah. I guess.
And it makes them feel comfortable. Like, because, you're in the United States, the expectation is that it's all English or whatever. But when you get to be with your people, it means something totally different.
Especially if it's, family members like grandma, grandpa who don't speak the language. It just means a lot to them that they can understand what's going on.
Yeah. So they don't feel like, foreign at their own grandchild's wedding.
That's true.
Yeah, that's good.
What did you study at UCF?
Health information management. Yeah.
And you do nothing with that.
and what is that? Health information management.
They're just working with medical records, making sure that when you come to the hospital, that all your information is correct. It's in there because, we're human, we mess up. Sometimes we don't take down the correct information. And, just to go in, make sure that all that is correct. And we scan in papers and keep everything in their place.
So you have to read doctors.
Have you done anything with that at all?
I mean, after I graduated, I got an internship at Sarasota Memorial Hospital.
Okay.
And right after my internship, they hired me. So I worked there for about 3 years while I also were transitioning into DJing more and more.
Okay. And that goes into the next question. Like, what inspired you to become a DJ?
This is a good one.
This is a very good question. I suppose I got really lucky and I kind of just fell into it.
I feel like that's how it happens for
everybody.
For most.
No, this one literally was just, I met this guy who was a DJ and I really, really liked him. So in order for me to spend a little bit more time with him, I asked him to teach me how to DJ.
Oh my gosh, this is great.
That is like pro tip.
Yeah.
Like, teach me how to DJ. Really? Is that how I spin it? So
Brandy.
Push that button. Okay.
You're pushing all the right buttons.
All the buttons.
It was fun, but it's kind of funny because then I realized I don't really like him, but I started really liking DJing. I'm like, wait, this is actually really cool. And, I was calling out the songs. I'm like, hey, play this, play that. And I started realizing, and he even said, it's like, you're calling out all the right songs. Like, you really have a feel for it. And after he kind of left this venue, he asked me to take over. So that was my foot in. And then after that, things are I started getting to know more DJs, more people in that industry.
How long ago was this? What year?
So this was...
She's like, how long has he been out of my life?
This was about 12 years ago.
12 years ago?
And then I just got back into it full-time about 4 or 5 years ago. So there was a little break in between because of college and working and your life and
COVID and all the things.
And then not being able to afford equipment at that time as a broke college student. I think we can all relate.
Yeah. So wait, so when you met this guy and you became interested in you became interested in him and he was a DJ. When was this? Were you in Hungary or was that here?
It was here.
It was here. Okay.
Down in Siesta Key.
Okay.
We're making her drum up all these memories.
Yeah, sorry.
Flashing over.
Flashbacks.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay, so that was after college or during?
During college.
Okay.
I believe, yeah.
Very cool.
Right in the beginning. It was like 21, 22, way back. Just when I was able to start going out to clubs.
Yeah. And you went to high school here.
Yeah, Booker High.
Yeah, we went
to the same high school.
What year did you graduate again?
2008.
Okay, so I was you were a freshman when I was a senior.
Probably.
Yeah. Because I was 04.
Wow. Definitely missed you.
Yeah.
I missed you by 8 years and different school.
Where did you go?
I graduated high school in Ohio.
Yeah, she ain't from here.
I ain't from here. I'm a northern girl.
None of us are from here.
Guys.
None of us are from here.
Yeah, we're all transplants, which is great. Or bring something extra to the table.
That's what makes Florida so interesting. Everyone is from somewhere.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
So what do you feel like your niche is as far as if you have one when it comes to what makes you different than other DJs aside from being like a badass female?
I was gonna say a female.
Yeah.
Aside from being a badass, being female,
yeah,
it's a small
there's
group.
Not,
what else
yeah,
sets
there's,
you apart? Yeah.
Speaking multiple languages.
Yeah.
I think it makes it stand out a little bit more. I'm also a mom, but I don't really advertise that much. So that's honestly the main reason, the biggest reason why I went into DJing full time is because of my daughter. Yeah. After she was born, I was like, I don't want to go back working 40 hours a week. I want to spend time with my daughter.
Yeah. How long have you been DJing full time?
About 4 or 5 years, after she was born.
Okay.
Yeah, I had 3 months to decide if I want to go back to the hospital or not. And after 3 months, I was like, thank you. I love you guys. I'll be back later. But right now, I'm just going to go DJ.
Chase your passion.
Yeah.
Where do you DJ currently? So, Nate, because you're all over the place. I mean, aside from.
I know. I think I was walking down the sidewalk one night downtown Sarasota, and I'm like, hi, Karolina.
Yeah.
She's
everywhere.
DJ, and I'm like, that was DJ Carol.
Yeah. I give you props because you are all over the place while being a mom. And I don't know how you do it because I can barely keep my dog alive while, working here at the TV station and, running a business. But, aside from, working, being an awesome DJ with TLS Entertainment, and doing weddings and different events, you're all over the place. So where else do you DJ?
So I'm at Gilligan's every other Thursday. That's been going great. I love that place. That's really where everything started for me. And where else? So I'm going to start playing at Patrick's in downtown next month.
Yeah.
They're starting to have DJs now.
So everybody's having a DJ.
Yeah.
Gosh. Yeah. I remember, you texted me last week like, hey, are you available tonight? And I was like, no, I'm at a wedding. And I was like, what's going on? You're like, Patrick's needs a DJ. I'm like, what? Patrick's is now, where are they going to put a DJ?
I'm going to find out later today, to be honest.
Please, let me know how that goes.
Okay. I'm sure it'll be fun.
You just DJ'd at a restaurant style for the Super Bowl. We won't talk about the result of Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was. So, I DJ every now and then at Molly's Pub, which you've DJ'd at Molly's Pub as well. Shout out to Kelly.
Yeah.
Kelly Crawford for hooking us up with that. But I was DJing at Molly's Pub a couple weeks ago, and the GM there, she's a huge Eagles fan, and I said, Christy, you're a huge Eagles fan. What are you doing for the Super Bowl? And she's like, I'm watching it here. We've got a huge Super Bowl party right next door at Evie's Tavern.
Yeah.
I said, do you want to DJ? And she's like,
it's like asking somebody on a date.
Yeah, right. Well, that's exactly how I said it. She was like, do you want to DJ? I mean, huge Eagles fan. If there's going to be a lot of Eagles fans,
I got you.
Let's make it a party. And the Super Bowl was sold out. Like everything was sold out at Evie's. And she's like, let me get back to you on that. And so I played, I ended up DJing that night, and so many compliments, which was, you just love to hear it. And at the end of the night, she was like, you're hired. How much do you need?
I don't even care.
And I was like, I don't care. Just I just make sure there's a seat for me and a +1. And they had a seat for me at the bar. Loved it.
Nice. Yes.
The game was amazing. The outcome was not for an Eagles fan, but it was awesome. Yeah. I busted out my brand new controller for for all of my DJs out there. Yeah, I just got the DDJ 1000. And I've been practicing on it, it is amazing. It was awesome. What do you use? The SX3, right?
SX3, yeah.
What did you start on, or is that what you've always used?
I think it's the very first one. The SX1, was it? Or it was 1, 2, 3, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, the very first one that came out.
So you've stuck with that particular model.
It has everything that you need, honestly. Yeah. So. Yeah, I would love to get the Rev 7.
Oh,
that's the next on the list.
Okay.
Because all the cool DJs in Tampa, that's what they use.
Oh, to be cool, you have to use a Rev 7.
Keep up with the cool kids. So, were you one of those cool kids that took crates and CDs around for albums, or you've always been digital?
I don't think she's that old.
Yeah, no.
I'm just asking.
We're not talking about DJ Harry right here, okay?
CDs are not that old. Respect. Oh my Lanta. No. Making me feel real old.
I mean,
did you carry CDs?
No, I've been DJing for 10 years. It's coming. Actually, no, I've been DJing for 9. Coming up on 10 in 2024.
And you never. It was always digital.
It's always been digital.
No, like MP3 in it and burning CDs and mixing stuff.
I don't know.
Okay, so I guess I'm the oldest.
I'm fairly new-ish to the DJ realm, and I've done a lot of research, but I don't know how far back.
I mean, there were CDJs that we had at Gilligan's. There was a CDJ that would take a CD, and just in case if our main setup would fail, we would have a backup.
Yeah.
So we would have CDs just in case as a backup.
A backup.
Yeah, that was.
And then you guys CDs though still like
well, you've got Harry Wright.
Oh, he brings
the vinyls.
Yes,
he brings out the vinyls, and he's like, "Look at me, whoop whoop whoop."
Nobody got that.
I'm like, "Damn, Harry, you are showing your age." But he DJs out at Pops Sunset Grill. Yep.
Sounds
in
about
Venice,
like that's where he would be.
Well, Pops. They love him there. They love him there. Where's the other place? Pops and.
Can't remember the name of it.
It's in Venice too.
It is in Venice.
But yeah, he has like a residency there.
Nice.
Yeah, but they love. I mean, he caters to that age anyway. So.
Yeah. So I have some questions.
Wait, I'm not done with my questions.
He's got so many.
All right. So going back to where you DJ. So with TLS, you also do some. You DJ at Gilligan's.
Yeah. Molly's too.
Molly's. You've DJed at Daiquiri Deck with me. And then
I used to play at Art of Asian too. I used to be at Pizza and Brew. I mean, literally every bar that you can think of in Sarasota.
Yeah, you've been all over. Yeah, and you've linked up with Street Laced.
That's right. Yeah, they hired me as their DJ. That's been an adventure.
So Street Laced is really cool, and I've even reached out to them like, hey, I reached out to them last year, but they weren't looking to bring anybody else on. But I might reach out to them again. But Street Laced, they are in with all of like the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Bucks, the Rays, like all the major sports, professional sports, the colleges, USF.
Really?
And so all of their DJs will, like DJ Matt Dodge, he's with them as well, and he does a lot of USF.
Mm-hmm. A lot of sports games.
A lot of sports games.
And Third Leg Greg does a lot of lightning.
Yes.
Say it again?
Yeah. Third Leg Greg.
Oh, okay. I'm sure he's with Street Laced.
Yes.
Yeah. And you DJ'd outside as everybody was coming
porch.
In. Yeah. Oh, that's fun.
I have one more coming up in about a week or two.
If you can't do it, just saying.
Or if you need a +1.
Or if you need a +1.
Have them carry your equipment.
Yes. Oh, yes. That's a
be like, I need your help. Yes. Move that from there.
You always use some muscle.
How often do you DJ with Street Laced?
I slow down a little bit, but maybe between 1 to 4 times a month. It really depends,
And then you also do weddings with, is it Granger Entertainment as well?
Granger Entertainment.
Granger.
Yeah. I'm also part of the music bureau now too. So, just anything that fills up my calendar really.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, you do an amazing job with me, so I appreciate you. And anytime I can book you, if I have the ability to, and if you're available. But one question that I've had, because I'm just gonna get right into it. What challenges have you faced as being a female DJ in a male-dominated industry?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
This is one of my biggest questions that I've had,
of course.
Why I wanted to yeah, I just wanted.
I really don't think we're taken that seriously. Even though if you present, if they hear about you, that hey, she's the best, she's great, she's this and that. Even then, they just, I don't know. If they put you next to a guy, I do think they would rather choose the guy because as you said, it is male dominant. You would expect to go into a club and see a male DJ, but whenever I do play, I actually have a lot of people come up to me. They're like, "Oh, it's so nice to see a girl. It's so nice." Especially girls, they love it.
Yeah.
And I even have lady DJ Lady Jane, who's a really good friend of mine. She's from Slovakia. And she was telling me that she was like one of the biggest DJs in her country in her time, and they were doing a huge festival. And the gentleman that was throwing this festival just didn't like female DJs, and he wouldn't book her just because he didn't like female DJs, and
or just didn't take her serious. Yeah,
exactly. And everyone's pretty disappointed about it. But when I heard that, I was like, well, it's sad, but.
So how do you counter that? Like when you are faced with that kind of a, opposition, like do you say, hey, give me a chance, or do you say, here's some of my stuff, or, how do you
let my work do the talking?
Yeah, seriously. And that's, I've actually had to, like, I've gone to bat for Karolina at a couple of venues that we work with for weddings. They, unfortunately said the same thing, we just don't know. We don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And I was like, give her a chance. Like, she's amazing. And, I mean, I get you had done a wedding at this particular venue, and I think it was your first and only wedding at that point in time. And the wedding itself just did not go well. I think the bride was just super upset with the catering.
Oh.
Even with the venue staff.
Oh gosh.
And then, so therefore, like, you just fell into, like, she just didn't seem happy with anything. And so therefore,
you walked into a difficult situation.
Yeah. So then like
to fail already.
Yeah.
Right?
And then the owner of the venue was like, we don't want Karolina. We heard some bad reviews. So I'm like, please tell me.
Yeah.
She's like, well, we've gotten a couple. I'm like, she's been there one time. So you're lying, one. And two, what happened? And I can tell you what happened. So please tell me why, you're.
Yeah, because it's a reasonable question, reasonable conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
And I said, from what I heard, even from your staff, was that the bride was difficult. She did not, like, the entire night was a bust. Because the caterer
her mother was extremely demanding because she had experience in catering and all this and that. So she was just bossing everyone around.
Yeah. Have you, and this particular venue, fun. I know you know which one I'm talking about. How many times have you been back? Have you been back there at all?
Oh, yeah, a bunch of times.
Okay,
actually.
just one. Yeah, so I was like, listen, you need to give her a chance, because you can't base it off of that one, which was her first time there. I mean, I had another DJ who's no longer with us show up in shorts.
Oh. I know.
You know who that is. But so I was like, all right, like that, whatever. And, but I mean, I
had other pet peeves with him.
So, right.
Like, why are you in the photo booth and the music is playing and you're 40 feet from, like, how is that happening?
Yeah. So I was, do you still see, like, even with other, like the other, wedding teams that you're with, or wedding companies, do you see any pushback at all? Or, I mean, I guess you don't know, because we just book you and we're like, hey, you're on this wedding.
Oh, I mean, in this Grange Entertainment, he put me into this Christmas party, and he just, like, almost asked me really, really nice. He's like, please come and do this. I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. I got you. And I went there, I set up, they were giving me a little bit of a hard time because last year the guy that they had was horrible. They had a horrible experience, so, and they see a female DJ, and they're like, oh, great. What should we expect now?
They're like, we thought we voiced our concerns.
Right. Yeah. And then, she comes up to me. She's trying to tell me, oh, can you switch it up? Or can you make it more, dancey stuff? I'm like, wait, everyone is eating.
Yes.
Let me just do my thing, and then we're going to get into the dancing. I'm like, just be patient with me. Let me do what I do best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was patient. Thank God. There are some people that are just constantly up.
It's not just you.
Like,
let me tell you.
A sign that says,
let us work.
Yes.
Yeah, work in progress.
Yeah. I mean, we have
do not disturb signs.
No requests hat.
Yeah, right. No, but we have what's the word I'm looking for? My mind always goes blank. A philosophy of how we go about things. Yeah. We have a strategy.
Yeah.
So, like, we start the night, like, first of all, let us read the crowd. Let us figure out what the crowd and what the guests are enjoying.
Yes.
And then from there, we kind of we'll ramp it up, and we'll see if this particular genre or song will work. If this works, okay, great. So let's kind of tackle that one. And then, all right, well, let's just do a little right turn and see if this works. Yeah. If that one works, okay, no, we won't do that one again. Let's go over here. Yeah. So,
and honestly, you don't want to play all those good dancing songs when people are sitting.
No.
Like, don't waste it. Because you can't play it again, because that's just party foul.
But I mean, so often I see it. I'm sure you probably see it as well. That from the get go, like right when we start dancing, can you switch it up a little bit? This is the second song.
Can you play something we can dance?
Right. Oh my gosh. What?
Like
everybody else is dancing.
You can dance to. What would that be? Because everybody's a little different. It's like their dancing style, and honestly, that can come into question too, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. You call that dancing?
Yeah. So back to this Christmas party.
Oh yes.
I ended up doing, and needless to say, once dinner was over, one by one, people started coming up to the dance floor, and by 10 minutes into it, it was packed. Mm-hmm. Everyone was dancing. People were taking pictures like, oh my God, that person never dances. I'm like, look what this person did. I mean, they had a blast. So then my booking agent called me. He's like, yeah, you definitely killed it.
Nice.
It's like they were not expecting that. Compared to what they had last year, they had the best time ever. Yep. So it's always nice to hear that. It's nice to have that feedback.
Of course. And I think, it's more prevalent now that it's women supporting women, and it's a lot of like she power and woman power and, and all of that going around, and a lot of love for women in different industries and things. So how do you feel like that has catapulted you, and have you had people like women that come to you and say, I want you to mentor me? Like, how do I get into this?
I'm starting to put out there that I'm, taking up people. If they want, I'll be happy to teach them how to DJ. Yeah. I think I really have reached a point where I'm ready to do that. Yeah. I really do have a lot of experience. And I had a couple of girls that came up to me, and one of them is, I see her like once a month, Stephanie. She's in events and entertainment as well. And, she loves it. Yeah. We both have hectic schedules, doing what we do. But if anyone's interested, feel
sign me up. I would love to DJ. Like, I feel
you got the personality for it.
My love of music. Like, I would be like, yes, let's do it. I mean, I DJ a little. Okay. Not like DJ.
No,
I can't call it DJ.
No, you play. You set up music.
I play songs from my phone.
And you have
Mary Kay group.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you have your
4 times a year.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I'm like playing and they're dancing and they're like, you're the best DJ. I like, something they say, or if they're introducing the guys, I play a little pony, or it's raining men. Like, I read the crowd, and it is
a lot about reading the crowd and understanding
that's really what
the music out there.
I just read the crowd.
It really is. The biggest part is picking the right songs at the right time. So the fact that you know so many songs, you have such a big library already, that is huge.
That's half the battle.
Yes. And then I just share it. Like, we have a Facebook group, and I'm literally like, oh, I want all that music. I'm like, okay, I just share my list, and they just can relive it or replay it or whatever. But there are certain staple songs, if you're a Mary Kay, the Pink Cadillac and that kind of stuff. But I'm always trying to find, like, I play Money by Pink Floyd when they're talking about like their paychecks, or like, extra certain things. Like, I play that coin sound. So yeah.
Okay.
So I would love to learn. I'm gonna have to see what we can do. We can see if I can DJ.
Yeah.
What's
come hang out.
Interesting about it is
Why not?
Also the order in which you play them. Like, you can take them through like a journey.
Yes.
Oh man.
It's just
that just sounds like fun. Like a dream. Like, just like
it's so much fun, and especially when you when you get so many compliments at the end of the night. It's so worth it.
I think the scary part is all the buttons, because I see you guys, and you'll like push a button and nothing. I don't see anything change. Nothing like
that's because it's happening in here in the headphones.
And that's what would probably I would have to. It's almost like being a drummer when you've got to like do this at a certain beat and then do something else at a certain beat. I can't it's a whole lot. So for me, I think that would probably be like my biggest okay, I just push that button. But I see you guys do it, and obviously I'm not in the headphones, but I see you guys like turn a button here and push a button there, and I'm like, nothing changed.
What's going on?
It's going to happen. Trust the process.
What's going on? Because why'd they push that button? And then they push it again, and they push it again. Like, what is going on? It's like a secret that you keep, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I get it. But yeah, the mixing, I think that would probably be like, there's a lot of buttons.
Well, yeah, and the idea is for you to have no idea that it's even happening. like in the song, like in the music, because like there's like the transition from one song to the next. If there's just a hard transition, that's not a good mix.
I love it. So when I hear like mixes, I love to listen to mixes. When I hear like a little bit of a song pop in, I'm like, oh, they're going to play this next. And I'm so excited. And I'm just waiting for the rest of it to come. And I'm like, yes, I called it. But I pick up on those like little bits when they sneak them in. And I'm like, or if I hear a beat and I'm like, oh, that's from this. Oh, or it could be this. Like I can familiarize myself with certain... Oh, that's from this, and this song. Oh, what if they mixed in this one?
Yeah.
So
that's what I was
hang out with DJ Lira.
You already got the biggest part of it down.
Now you just need to learn the software. Yeah. That's it.
Buttons.
Just all the buttons. Pushing buttons. Just
buttons, all the right buttons.
Yep. So what's
and not shut things down. That would probably be the biggest fear that everything would go quiet and you'd be like, ugh.
Yeah, that's
why you have backup.
Then you drop a beat like that was supposed to happen.
Yeah, yes. That's the biggest thing is if you mess up, like don't let the guest, don't let anybody know that you messed up. Just that was supposed to happen. Just keep going.
I'll pay attention. Boop. So go ahead.
I was gonna say, what's one of the craziest things you've seen?
Yes, that was what I was thinking.
While DJing.
Body shots.
Someone flashed me once.
So, wait, a male or a female?
Female.
She did you.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like, oops, my nipple fell out.
Be like, this is how much I enjoy.
Was this at a wedding or at like a bar?
I was at a club.
Was it a club? Yeah. Which club?
He's
Classico. Remember
Classico?
Yeah. Before it was what it is now. It was right before COVID happened.
Yeah, because Classico used to have DJs.
Oh. Every Friday and Saturday. I was there.
I remember you DJing there. That's right. That was like early on. Yeah.
Yeah, I was there for 2 years in a row every Saturday.
Who does
boy,
that?
we used to have fun there. Yeah, I know, right?
Like, it's not Mardi Gras. You're not getting beats for this. Like,
well, no,
this is how I request my songs.
Yeah, well, you would definitely get it played if it was a male.
Oh,
that's different.
This is how this works.
I mean, I had somebody flash the camera in the photo booth.
Oh.
I still have that photo. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they're like, and the funny thing is, I wasn't working it. I wasn't working it, but she's like
by herself.
No, she was with a group of people, and she literally just took her shirt and pulled her boob out, and she's like, "Whoops, my nipple fell out. Sorry about that, girl. You legit just pulled
Janet Jackson. You pulled a Justin and Janet.
I got flagged on Facebook because I didn't know it was in there." And that's how I found the photo.
That's how that happened.
Yep.
And once it's digital, I mean, her breast is everywhere.
Well, it's not on Facebook anymore. It was taken down, but
somebody probably saw it and screenshotted it and saved it and sent it around somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's so flashing. Okay. Anything else like crazy or?
I mean,
who's more well behaved, the guys or the girls when you're DJing at clubs?
Well, that depends on how drunk they are, really. I mean, the drunker they are, the worse they can be.
I feel like it's like 50-50.
Yeah, it goes both ways.
Yeah, you see some like really bad dancers.
I feel, honestly, actually now,
falling.
I feel like it's the women.
Oh.
Well, because women would approach you.
Well, no, well.
More than guys. I mean, I got a lot of guys
and you probably feel it's the guys.
But it's not that anybody approaches me. I just see more women dancing with their girlfriends, or and they just get drunk and they're just crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I can see that.
Do you get hit on a lot?
Happens.
Yeah. Be like, play my song.
Here's my number.
There is a story.
Right there.
Ooh, let's hear it.
There?
I was down in Venice at TJ Carney's. Tim knows about that place. So, it's a little bit of an older group in the beginning of the night, and this gentleman comes up to me with a folded napkin and gives it to me. He's like, "Here, this is for you." I'm like,
"Thank
cool,
you
it's
for the napkin
or something." He walks away. I open it up. There's
oh no.
There's I don't remember how much was in there, but there was a bill in there and his phone number.
Oh, right on.
Was he trying to prepay? I mean, what the heck?
Oh, no.
Why? Come on, guys.
Be better.
Do better. Yes. Here's a request. And
but this
should
was
you like
older
what you see, there's a phone number. the money's for the request, lady. Like, be specific.
So how do you like handle unruly guests like that? Right? Like, how do you?
Oh boy,
just smile and wave.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Well, the best thing to do. Sorry, taken. Sorry, not a good time.
Do you ever wear? Do you just ever wear like a wedding ring?
That doesn't work, honestly.
I know us guys, we really don't care. When you get drinks and a guy,
you heavier.
Yeah, they see it as a challenge.
Oh yeah, that's a challenge. Yeah.
So I always get those. Can you play my song next? Can you play my song? Especially when I'm playing like hip hop, and they're like, "Can you play my country song?" Really? Is
it mixed with a hip hop song by chance?
And then they get upset.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, dude, you can. I'm like, how long are you gonna stay?
Read the crowd.
Right. Read the room.
But no, everyone wants to hear what they want to hear. Yep. The songs that they listen to in the shower or in the car that nobody else wants to hear.
The obscure
stuff. And I've even had people say, "You suck as a DJ." I'm like,
no.
I'm sorry that you feel that way, but it seems like everybody else having a great time.
I've been doing this. I get paid to do this. Do you get paid to make those decisions? I don't know. So I went to Be Kind Rewind at Oscura a couple weeks ago, and they had two guys. It was a very simple setup. There was no mixing of songs. Like, they played one song after the other, and I was dying. I was like, oh, I just want to get up there and mix something somehow. I don't know how, but I wanted to. But I kept giving them request after request after request. Like, they had a little bucket with a sticky pad, so it was what you're supposed to do. I basically DJ'd for them and picked their songs all night, so much so that at the end of the night they bought me a shot.
Nice.
Nice.
I mean, sometimes I was like, in that setting, I was like, okay, these guys, these gentlemen, it was 80s, 90s, 2000s. They were nowhere near born in the 80s.
Oh.
They were definitely born in the mid 90s. Probably late 90s. So let me just throw them some 80s and like 90s stuff to play. I would give them a request. They'd be like, oh, that's they were like, you had the best request all night. I was like,
because they didn't think about it.
But yeah, because it's not like I'm an 80s baby. So
I just don't think they've been doing it long enough to know. Because if you're doing this for years and years, you know exactly what are the top 80s songs, the top 90s songs.
What are some of like your favorite genres to play? Or styles of music?
The 80s.
You love the 80s?
Girlfriend. Yeah. What's your favorite 80s song or artist?
Oh, boy.
I know. I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah, that's a lot. Oh, golly.
So much good stuff.
There is. I mean, the first song that comes to my mind is Whitney Houston.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody.
So Whitney, yeah.
There's a lot of really cool like remixes and mashups with that.
Yes.
So it's really cool. I'm a huge 90s guy. I love 90s music. If I could just throw if somebody wants to throw a 90s party, call me.
I did.
You did? Well, that's true. You did.
And I am so excited because I'm going to go see Janet in Orlando.
Okay.
Jackson in April.
Yeah.
I'm already like researching my jacket. It's going to say Miss Harlan if you're nasty. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because you got to lean into that Janet Jackson, Rhythm Nation, Black Cap, long, like you just
did a dance to that.
I sure did.
You sure did.
So I feel like I'm with you with the 80s but I also grew up like with like Lionel Richie and that kind of 80s style too. Like my mom was big into hair bands and also R&B and soul. So it's kind of a good mix. Like I can some Slippery When Wet stuff, like bring it. Yeah. It's a good album.
Nice. All right. Well, let's go. We're going to have to wrap it up here in a few minutes. But before we do.
Yes.
What's trending?
Yeah.
What's trending? We do a segment every podcast on what we see trending, and I'm actually gonna, Karolina, what do you see trending in weddings? Like events, like for example, or weddings or events. Like for example, like I've seen on the like two weeks in a row, I actually saw couples throw out T-shirts. Like a T-shirt toss.
Yep.
Okay. Or it was really weird. Two weekends in a row. First time I've ever seen it. And then I also there was like the glow stick re-entrance, like a glow stick re-entrance.
The glow stick is getting very big. I'm starting to see that everywhere. Also the donut wall.
Oh, the donut wall.
Yeah. The donut wall is still in.
Love the donut wall.
It is good.
And I also, I feel like we're moving away from the 80s music and getting more into the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a transition with that.
I feel like it always just kind of comes back around.
Especially
like you feel like 90s EDM. like mixes are in, or I feel like we've been seeing a lot of bands at the Bishop. Like we've got the same band twice this month, and we had a band last month. I don't, and it's not like they're your typical band. They're like your garage band, like your buddies. It's not. So that's kind of what we've been seeing.
I've it's not trending, but I happen to see this on some of the DJ groups on Facebook. So you know how there's cold spark effects. Well, they now have like flame, like
cannons,
like flame cannons, but like in like so like the sparkler effects, and they shoot out of the box.
Yeah.
Well, they have that for like flames now.
I think somebody asked me if we would allow that,
and
it's like a shoot, it's like a white shoot, and it's like
that's hell no.
Yeah. It's like nope, that's a no.
That would be a hard no for me, dog.
That's definitely a no. We because I mean, who's operate like? I have so many questions. That's a definitely no.
No,
I have too many questions to make it a yes.
But like CO2 cannons, like that's. I'm just trying to figure out how.
People have asked me that too, and I said no.
But I'm just trying to fit why.
Because I don't know who's operating it. It becomes a guest is doing it. It's a lot of
all right, that's fine. But like I know some entertainment companies like Corey Barron from Tampa Bay DJ Company.
If you're an entertainment company,
he has CO2 cannons, but I'm trying to figure out how do you incorporate that? Like how do you upsell a couple on that? Like, hey, I've got some CO2 cannons. We can have these go off, and
it's a one-time shot, isn't it?
I mean, I'm sure they can go off a couple times, but
they go so.
But
they do.
I mean, I guess it's great for like video and photo, which same thing with like the cold spark
end of
effects.
The night,
end of the night, or if like there's like a huge drop and it's a big rager. If you've got,
right.
then that's, one thing because you see at clubs.
Those cannons that do the streamers. He does confetti cannons too.
Oh, hey, I mean, I would, as a venue, I would be livid.
He absolutely does those confetti.
Come on, Corey.
It's streamers though. It's all connected, and then he just gathers it all up. He did it at a swell event, and he shot it off, and it was at the USO event over at the Municipal Auditorium, and they shot out like red, white, and blue streamers, and I was just like, okay.
Who's going to clean all that up?
And he has to be, like, two people have to be on site, so you're also paying for the staff time, too. Yeah. So that's for a one shot. That's definitely a one shot.
What do you see trending?
Just the bands, really.
Bands, okay.
Bands have been big, and going back, and I know we've mentioned this before, is something that people are doing more and more, but black and white and classic.
Love it.
Is just, it's really, really trending and in and just nice. It's really good to see. And specifically for our venue, the museum, people are utilizing more of the museum and creating more of an experience. And that's the other thing that I saw on Biz Bash this last couple of weeks is immersive dinners. So basically, say your rehearsal dinner or just you're having a dinner party event, it's literally in a space, in a square space, whether you do a tent or something of that. New York has them in restaurants now where it's immersive, where like everything around you is like moving and it changes based on the food that you're having. The scenery changes. And then in the general restaurant, and this is the restaurant that's in New York, which I think would be awesome here, all the picture frames are projections. And so they change too. So it's like, almost like art gallery, and it just changes as you're having dinner. So creating that immersive experience, I think, is something that couples really should lean into, because not many people have experienced it. And your guests are going to be like, wowed, just completely wowed by it. So however you can bring in projection mapping or a immersive experience, whether it's when they enter, or maybe the drink is immersive where there has like some cloudiness coming from it, or the bubbles, or the clouds and the smoke coming from it. However you can incorporate something unique like that, I think is a really good look. So that's right what I'm seeing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's going to do it for us.
Thanks, DJ Lira.
DJ Lira. Karolina, thank you so much. And just so you know, I've got a ton of inquiries coming in, so open up your calendar for me.
And how can they find you on socials?
Yes. How can everybody find you?
On Instagram, DJ Lira K, because DJ Lira was taken. So
Lira?
DJ Lira
K. Okay.
Or my website is djlira.com.
And then, are you on Facebook at all? Do you go on there?
Karolina Lira.
Karolina Lira. And then, how can they hear your mixes? Are you on SoundCloud or Mixcloud?
On my website.
Oh, on your website? Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Put some of the best ones.
And then if because I know I often can be like, oh, can we see you at a wedding?
Yeah.
No, you can't see us. No, you're going to become a wedding crasher.
That's why we have Instagram.
Well,
But you play in so many clubs, right?
like there's, we have the opportunity that we play at clubs or bars at times. So are you at Gilligan? You're at Gilligan's.
Every other Thursday.
Every other Thursday.
Just follow me on Instagram. I always post where I am.
You're all over the place.
Yeah,
that's good.
So I don't really have a residency.
I'm envious of you, Karolina.
He wants to be you when he grows up.
Yeah.
So do I.
Seriously, no, I appreciate everything that you've done. It's been awesome to see your growth just from when I first met you 3 years ago. And I appreciate you reaching out to me and for the opportunity to work with you. So I've learned so much. So thank you.
Yes.
And I will be reaching out for many events and weddings coming up. So
and way to pave the way. Like really, like I give you kudos for just being that female in that realm and just really paving the way for others and carrying that torch. So
one
keep
day
doing it.
Someone told me once, a DJ, when I was just starting out, I'm like, how do you get into it? How do you do all this? He's like, you know what? If you can see yourself doing it, go for it. So that's
just
been my motto. So yeah,
just go for it.
Yeah, also you want it, you can get it, you can do it. So just go for it.
That's a good motto for anything. But if you want to become a DJ, just go for it.
Yeah. Find the right people.
I think I found my people.
There you go. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Tim Schaus, TLS Entertainment, your premier DJ. Brandy Harlan at the Bishop, your non-retired wedding planner. She's coming back. And then, of course, the awesome DJ Lira. It's been amazing. This is the Scoop Weddings Unveiled, podcast number 12.1.
Peace and chicken grease.
Adios.